Now, in this situation, like you're both in the market, 3 months old, 6 months old, is it a reality for every tech startup to eventually, if you're bootstrapping it, do you eventually get to a point where you need funding, outside funding, just to push it further? Or what's your take on that? Or is it possible to do it without?
Yes
money in the bank?
I think, yeah. I think, I've been doing this for probably 3 years now in total, and we've only been live for about 6 months. But we've been going through this process for 2.5, 3 years now. And I think at the beginning we were like, oh yeah, we'll just get some money from friends and family, which we did to actually create the product, and then we're like, oh yeah, we'll just keep bootstrapping the rest. But reality is everything costs, and you do sort of need a bit of money to keep you going. And we tried our best to spend as little as possible in terms of marketing to begin with, because we wanted to figure out who our actual target market is. Like, we can guess and predict who we think it is, but until you actually try stuff and get data, and it's hard to tell who's actually your target market. So we spent very little, and now we're at a point where we've sort of collected all this data, and we've done all the organic marketing we possibly can. And you're kind of at that growth stage where now you do need money to push into these channels that you figured out work, and it will help you grow. And you don't necessarily need it. Like, you could just keep going out there and talking to people on the street, and which we still do. But I think the reality is, to scale, you need a bit of money to sort of get you going.
You need to eat. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true.
You need to get paid, and if you're bootstrapping, you're putting your everything into it. At some point, you're gonna. Okay, so and this is coming from two people who've done a whole heap of research before actually, and have gotten a lot of validation before even starting it. Is there a way to actually front load it where you get like an affirmation that you're gonna get outside funding even before you build it? Is that possible? Like, somebody to go, yes.
Absolutely. It happens. It happens all the time. But they're different, aren't they? They're different businesses. They're big ideas that are potentially changing industries. Whereas, I don't think these ideas are necessarily that, right? Like, if you're talking about deep tech, some people invest just purely into an idea, or the founders that have that idea.
Especially like R&D, they get heaps of R&D funding and stuff like that. Yeah.
So what we have,
Canva got funds before they even had a product.
I heard about this years ago. This startup in SV got 25 million in funding, and all he had was a business model, right? There wasn't even a prototype. I think his company was called Coin, and it became one of the earlier wallet type things. So it was. So it could happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen for everybody. So the reality of it is, you have to prepare for that eventuality when you get to that point and you go to market and you really want to sustain and scale eventually, right?
I think the New Zealand startup system is pretty hard. I think the ecosystem here is pretty rough, and I think for venture capitalists in particular, they require a lot more from a business here compared to the US, where I've seen some products get a lot of funding which probably shouldn't have got funding in the first place.
Shark Tank, dude, that's proof, right?
I'm out. Yeah. Well, so that's how it plays out. It's pretty awful, but
they come in with a little tchotchke and they're like, I'm asking 5 million for 2% of my company, and you're like, what? And then it gets funded. And you're like, well, I think I'm just gonna do my startup now because they got funded. But the reality is, it's a challenge. But rerouting it back, what are the wins? What would you say a major win is for OnShout and for Motorfy at this stage? Something you're happy about that you've hit or achieved.
I think launching is epic. May sound a little bit cliche, but to get to that point means, well, that's a huge amount of effort, but you're actually investing in the long term from there. I think there's a lot of soul searching before you hit the go button. So for us, that was massive. And then because we're not a marketing organization, to partner with the businesses that we did and build a marketing plan, and then start to see that come alive when, like, we can build great applications, but I have no idea about great content on TikTok. But we kind of built that plan, and then all of a sudden, like, you start seeing users coming on board. It's like, whoa, holy shit! Like, like there's 5 a day, 10 a day, and it kind of has grown, and it's pretty addictive.
Yeah. I agree. It's pretty cool. If you don't know yet, like with OnShout, you could put up a wish list. You share this wish list out and people could fund that gift, either for yourself or for someone else. So when I see people funding wish lists, there's like a dopamine hit to it. Like,
some people don't even
holy crap, somebody gave me $10.
Yeah, and some people are giving money to people they don't even really know. I'm like, well, it's remarkable though, right? That they bought in the story and they might just drop in $10 or $20.
That's pretty crazy.
Like, good on you.
So I think, yes, truly, that is a win. That is a big win. What about you, man? What's a win?
Yeah, well, for us, I mean, we knew users would like this, and it helps people a lot, so it'll save a lot of time and money. But for us, we always had in the back of the mind that it would be hard to get the actual workshops on, because there are businesses that have tried in the past and got to less than what we have now.
Really? That's where they failed?
Within like 4 years of doing it. And for us, that's pretty impressive in my opinion, that we've able to convince these guys that don't really use technology to actually try something new and give it a go. And they're giving us feedback all the time, and we're sort of creating these partnerships with the workshops that we have on. And I think seeing that for me is like one of the coolest parts of what we do.
Let me tell you, like the Zavier I was talking to 2 years ago when you were starting, sounds very different from the Zavier I'm talking to now.
Oh my God, you know, like me.
I know.
He's all like, I need to take care of our economics, and I'm like, wow.
Well, that is the cool thing about it.
You learn a lot.
Yeah, you learn everything about a business when you're doing this, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so you should never be afraid if you feel like this isn't your wheelhouse. If you believe in an idea and you get enough validation from research, you'll learn it as you go, right? Like you'll figure it out, and you just gotta have the humility to receive the feedback and take that and keep grinding. And like, I mean, Bruce has been grinding, right? And like, he's been getting feedback, and like, he's loving it. He's learning.
Yeah, look how old I got. Look how my beard was like, there's no gray hair a year ago.
Okay, cool. Well, left field question. Both of you are apps, so I gotta ask the AI question. Like, is there an AI play? Is it a threat to your app? Is it like a booster for the app, or is there AI somewhere in there? Or, and by the way, this is for the clicks, so that we mention AI.
AI. And so at the core of OnShout, no, it's not. So AI. Through our practices in software development, we're leveraging the tools that are available, right? So that just means more efficient, but still you need a great developer. So not in that sense. I think as we evolve and take on clients, there's a bunch of data in there, which is really going to be very interesting. So machine learning will apply. So there will be an opportunity for the way that consumers interact with gifts and sharing information around gifts and gifts they like, brands they like. I think there's going to be something in there that we could leverage AI for in future, whether it's through recommendations or just insights on what's on trend. I mean, certainly we've built the application with a view to leverage machine learning and AI in future. Though at this point in time, it's not what is driving the experience.
But it's not a threat either, because I feel like there is a very big and strong social component to OnShout. And so, I mean, I don't see the...
No, in fact, if anything, if you take the negativity of AI, which obviously it's well spoken about now, this is like, we're just trying to enhance what is already a very human experience and trying to make that a bit kind of cooler and more modern through a digital platform. So therefore, I think it's kind of more humanistic than some of the other downsides of AI. God, that was beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Thank you.
Great job. Ooh, is it the same case for you guys, or is it like a...
I think, from where we started in this process, we have learned a lot about this industry in specific, and we've sort of learned that, you know, we always thought the price difference from our quotes that people were getting through were because of, you know, just greed, or, you know, people are just having higher margins than other people. But we've actually learned that the infrastructure within this industry is very broken, and it comes a lot down to sort of those broken systems and processes. Like, for example, parts are just super disconnected from mechanics, and it's such a hard thing for a mechanic to source, which you would think, you know, would be a bit of a easier thing, especially when, you know, bigger companies own majority of them together, and they don't have a platform that sort of connects them all. So, you know, we are looking at introducing sort of AI to the provider side, where it will sort of help them auto quote and get prices pretty quickly for parts and source them, as well as also, you know, showing a user what they should expect to pay for that specific service, because a lot of people won't know, and it does differ a little bit in terms of what car you have and what you're needing done, and sort of the machine learning on the parts to mechanic to user side will all sort of connect, and it will just kind of become a bit more transparent, I think.
I can see it. Yeah, for sure. Like, what's the big vision now? What should people get excited about in both your apps, right? This is the time you really sell it, right? Really sell it. Like, I'm a user, I might download it. What am I looking forward to next?
Yeah, I mean, like, as I said before, like, we are sort of turning to creating more infrastructure within this industry and turning Motorfy into sort of an all-in-one kind of platform. So for a user, you'd eventually be able to sort of keep track of all your records, you'd be able to keep track of your WAF status, your Regis status, and, you know, with this new sort of RUC system coming into place, we'll also have systems in there where it will kind of help you keep track of that and purchase them. And, you know, we also want to introduce a bit of like DIY stuff into the app, so people that are a bit more savvy and car enthusiasts, we'll sort of give them some tools and things to sort of help them do some more DIY stuff. And yeah, I think, you know, from a consumer point of view, it's just creating more trust and less of a hassle within the industry, as, you know, it's sort of painted to be.
I love it. Because when you were just mentioning all these different areas in the industry, they are all siloed, eh? Like, I would have thought that mechanics have like quick access to parts, like working on an average. But I've just gone through a massive repair as well, and I was telling Bruce, what's the deal? Well, in one place it's almost like astronomical, the other place, and then timelines as well. Very different.
It doesn't make sense. WAF and Rego. Every time I'm like, it always catches me by surprise. I'm never on time, and then I always even if like you get that, all those reminders in there, and obviously servicing scheduling.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm gonna count down 3 to 1, and you tell me how much a WAF is. All right. All together, we'll say the number of how much we pay to get a WAF done. Right?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
125.
What?
I said 125. I don't know, man. 120?
120.
What'd you say? 65?
Yeah, 65.
See, I'm getting screwed, man.
Yeah.
I gotta leave.
See, this is a good example of like, what is it really, or what should it be? Jay, you were 60? So 60 is about the average. 60 is about the average.
Like
65?
60 to 70, yeah.
60, 70 bucks.
Like, we saw a lady put a quote through the other day, and her lowest was about 45, and the highest was 85.
So what makes you decide to bring it to 85, bring it down to 4? It's the same thing.
Well, we found the guys that are putting it higher are the ones that don't really want to do the job. But if you accept it, then cool, they'll do it, but it's at a higher price. Whereas
Bruce's guy definitely doesn't want to do the job. 125 bucks, that's a rip, man.
Oh, like, I've been getting ripped off my whole life.
Who's charging this much?
I don't know. I did these things. I don't even remember. Honestly, quite often I pay for things and walk away. I'm like, I should have looked at what they charged me.
Well, you know, now you have a party weird flex. Like, you can just go, hey everybody, how much do you pay for your WAF? 125 over here.
Premium service.
Okay, Bruce, tell us about OnShout. Like, what is there to look forward to about OnShout?
We're launching a mobile app now. So for us, we originally came to market with a progressive web app, so you access it through our website. It was still optimized for mobile, but I mean, there are like trade-offs, right? And So the first few months we're like, okay, we've got a great mobile team here, so we're just really fortunate, but we're like, okay, let's do this. We're like, the numbers are looking good. There's good validation, some retailers are showing some interest, so we pushed ahead with the mobile app, and that just got approved. So it just makes it way more discoverable. Like if you just say to somebody, hey, download OnShout, they just go to Apple, Android, download it. So that's a big thing for us. The experience is, more optimized for mobile again. We can use notifications. It's going to be, that's quite a big deal for us. And then the next phase will be, because we've been doing this all on our own to essentially prove that this concept of group gifting and digital group gifting and using an app like OnShout works, will be to get some retailers to jump on, right? Now, like if you start looking around for group gifting and this concept of getting something for somebody else or asking others to get something for you that you actually want, it doesn't exist through retail, mainstream retail, and their promotions and offers. Just seems silly it's not, right? Like, it's a bit like if you go back and look at buy now, pay later, prior to what is now in every cart, nobody was doing it, but the first retailers that did buy now, pay later, they got massive jumps in sales, right? Massive.
I didn't realize how many people use like buy now, pay
It's
later.
huge.
We're looking at putting it in because it's like, I went to the gas station the other day, and there was like 3 people in front of me and they're all paying with like the Afterpay card thing, and I was like, does everyone use this or?
It's big.
A lot of people use it. I use it.
It's crazy at it,
I mean, why not? It's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This has been great. Like, this is awesome. Like,
We've been amazing.
yes. Thank you for doing this. Ultimately, we wanna up the value of these episodes in terms of what you could potentially take away from it and what you could learn from it. And the decision to bring startups on and have this conversation, I believe is vital to anyone who's still thinking, still ideating, still planning, or even if you're in the middle of your project already or you're about to go to market. It's always refreshing to understand that, one, you're not alone in the journey. You're not the only one experiencing it, or it's not unexpected. And second, there are like little nuggets of wisdom that you can pick up that you may be able to apply, and that's what we really want to achieve. Thank you, Zavier and Bruce. There you go. Oh my God, that was that. Oh, what is up, man? Well, as we wrap up, just to tease out the next episode, once we get to Tom from Amico, who's also built an app, peer-to-peer lending. Couldn't make it today, but he did say that we might do an episode soon, so watch out for that. And as always, thank you for watching Launch Time or listening to it, or maybe even just thumbing through it. Anyway, peace out, peace in the streets. See you on the next episode.
Thank you, Tom.
Bruce, Zavier, yeah, that's a wrap.